Welcome to this Java tutorial by Johnson Mercy. I hope you'll enjoy it. What's going on, friends? You are welcome to my second tutorial on Java connectivity. The deal here is that we want to pick our details, our staff details, just like the first name, other names, date of birth, passport, and submit it where into our database. Okay, yes, that is true. But the context here is that which do I do first? Is it coding the submit button that would pick the name, other names, date of birth, and passport into my database? But then if I should code it first, what about the passport? What happens to it? Nowhere to be found, which means I should really get the passport. But then before I get the passport, what happens? What do I do to get a passport? I click on the browse button, which means I should first of all code the browse button. Okay, so how do we code this browse button? We can do it in two ways. Is either writing anonymous class, alright, then doing whatever we want to do with it. But for some housekeeping stuff, I would really like to just do it this way. Double click on the button and it takes you to a place, a very good place where you will write whatever you want to write there. Okay, now let's go there. This is it. Here is a place where I can tell what happens whenever I click on the browse button. But then before I start, I should really think of bringing in some variables that I would need to work with. Okay, then whenever I click on the browse button, a dialog comes out, and that dialog in Java is called JFile Chooser. The JFile Chooser helps in launching the dialog. That is the dialog that will be launched here is our open file open dialog. So I'll call this chooser. Oh, I forgot to do something. Red house, keeping stuff as well. Doing the private. Okay. Now, when I select the file I need, something is going to be responsible for helping me read the data from the file, and that is our file input stream. And I'm going to call that in. Okay, now remember in the design here we're going to give the file name. Okay, so for that I'm going to say private I say static in string file name. I made it static because I can use it in another method altogether or anything. So the static here is going to help me in future. Okay, now let me go straight into telling my button what it should do. That is the browse button, what it should do whenever I click on it. Okay, now I will really first of all create the file chooser by saying chooser equals to new JFile chooser. Okay, now this is one thing about JFile chooser. If you leave the JFile chooser like this, one thing it's going to do is that whenever you click on a button, remember what we are about to select is the picture. So whenever you click on the button, instead of going to the picture, it goes to your default directory. Okay, but then that is not what we need. What we need here is that whenever we click it, it goes to the picture directory. Okay, so to enable us to do that, I think what we should really do here is to click on the start button. No, not clicking on a picture. I don't think so. I'm not clicking on a picture. Just go to your computer, because we need the full part of this, the full part of where the picture is. So go to local disk, go to user, um, click on, I think, administrator, yes, then click on picture. Here I have these pictures. Okay, so here is the place I want opened whenever I click on the browse button. Okay, now, but then how do I get the path? I'll just click on this on this address URL bar here. So all of this will be selected. Then I copy it. Say, okay, copy it, or you do Control C there. But then you have to put inside of a string. It really accepts string URL. Okay, now I paste it there. You see, it has escaped this for me. This is escape. On a very good day, it's supposed to be 1, but 1, no. Instead of doing like that in Java, we'll do it this way. But where it is this way, no bad, just escape it. So NetBeans did it for me. NetBeans 7.3 did it for me automatically. Okay, now I've done this. The thing I'll do next is to create a file name extension filter. What this file name extension filter does is to help me to tell my users that this is what I need done. This is the kind of pictures I need to work with. All right, it's not giving me a kind of giving some kind of description that okay, we need only PNG, JPEG images. Then by the end of the day, what you're going to see there is only PNG and JPEG images. Otherwise, you would want to select all file. Okay, now say file name extension filter, and I'll call this filter equal to new file name extension filter. Okay, then here holds the description here. Says JPEG, PNG images. This is what we want to let the description we want there. Okay, then the second one says, oh, not that, JPG. Okay, this thing really means here that we are now telling the program select only PNG and JPG images and drop it there for us. Okay, otherwise select all files to see other files. Okay, now say chooser dot set filter file filter. Okay, we'll set the filter. This means chooser dot set file filter sets the filter for us. Okay, now the next thing we need to do here is to now open the dialog whenever we click there. Okay, this is just a creation of it. Alright, so whenever we create, it's just to tell the program if we click on the dialog button, alright, sorry, not dialog button, browse button, just instantiate the chooser for us. But then whenever you want to open anything, open it from the picture, that is C drive, user administrator, and picture, so that we need, so that we can select the files we need there. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is to create a variable. I'll call this open D. All right. Okay, I'm coming. Let me finish this then. Show open dialog. Okay, what this really means is chooser just open the show dialog. If you check out here, we'll have our show save dialog and show open dialog, but then what I need is show open dialog. Okay, Now, what this really means is open the open dialog, open the open dialog. Okay, so that we can select the picture we need, and this is a kind of a parent frame that is hosting that should uh, that is a kind of hosting the open dialog, if I should put it that way. So by the end of the day, this returns an int. Okay, int of either 1 or 0. So approved option, I think, is 1, which means something has been selected and it has been opened. So by the end of the day, we'll just say if, sorry, if open D equals to chooser dot proof option, this means if yes, the stuff has been selected, go ahead and do whatever we want to do. Okay, but that is just it's like I'm moving faster than my shadow. There's some things I'm supposed to do before this, but it's just to show you what these can do. Returns 1 or 0. 1 means approved, 0 means no, not approved, maybe cancel or something. Okay, then what we need to do here is that once the dialog has been opened, we select something. Yes, of course, that's what we need to do. But then that thing needs to be a file. That the thing we select, of course, is a file. Then we'll create a file object and say chooser.get selected file. Okay, now this get selected file comes in here. Now if the person says okay, open, what do we need to do then? Then we need to use our file input stream to read the data from the file we chose to our to our passport label. Okay, so now to this extent, let's say the person says approved option, yes, open. Okay, we say in equals to file, oh sorry, not file, equals to new file input stream that accepts a file to read from. So it's going to really read from this file. Okay, but then it's asking us for try and catch something. An unreported exception has not been catched. Okay, now we need to try and catch it there. Say try. Catch. Then we'll take this into the try and catch. Then instead of wasting my time trying to know the whole exception I should catch, just go ahead and catch the parent class, and everything is settled. Okay, so I'll still come back here in case of any error comes out. I would want to print it to myself or to the user, so that the user will know something has gone wrong or something. Okay, but now, for now, I don't think anything will go wrong. If we read this file and buffer it up, let me say the reader equals to new buffer reader that accepts an input stream, and then we have an input stream here in. All right, so we'll just take it in there. So we'll then get ready to read. We'll say b reader the read. Okay, but then this is the read we need to use because it is a raw byte. Right, we need to use this to read bytes of data, from especially binary data. Okay, but then this will, if I want to use this, which means I will create a byte variable, then integer. This means read from the place it should start reading and the place it should stop reading. Then if you, after reading, store the whole data inside of our byte array here, but no byte array has been created. So what do we need to do then? Go up there, say private byte, I'll call this raw array. Okay, so let me use it there. I'll say raw, go to new byte. Then I only have to give it size. Okay, the size now would be file dot length. Okay, it is still having a wavy red line, but check something out here. It says required int but found long. Remember that your byte receives a default value of int, right? That is 0. Okay, now but here it is seen long, which means that we should explicitly cast this into int. You can see the wavy red line is off. Okay, now that is it. We need to now say bReader.read, read from 0, that is the index of the array, to where the file stops, to the full length of the file, sorry. Okay, then read it into raw. It's still having a wavy red line. Remember, this is long and not int, so it should really cast explicitly. Okay, so read from 0 to the length of the file into raw byte array. Okay, now after reading that, we need to now set it to our passport label, because now we have read it successfully. Okay, now the raw here is having array of binary data, but then we don't really go straight. Setting it to the label is really going to show nothing, or show some kind of characters that you may not want to read, very scary ones. Okay, but then we should really say image icon equals to new image icon. Okay, now if we check our image icon here, we have overloaded constructors, the one that accepts image, object, string, file name, URL, blah blah blah. But here the one I want to use is the one of byte image data. Now remember my raw here is a byte type, so I'll really put in raw here and it's going to accept it. Okay, I'll say what's the name of my label again? Let me just, okay, I think it's passport label, passport lab dot set icon. Okay, now I have really done that. Okay, let's test these out and see the results. Taking a little time, taking a really little time to run. Okay. Okay, finally it's out. Now if I click on the browse button, brings me here. Okay, I'll select picture here. It's so wide, it's not even showing my passport. So wide, I really need to shrink it before you can see me here. Remember, this thing here is so why. This is the part that it is showing here. I'm not even visible. So the best thing we need to do here is that we can see that we have successfully read the image, but here we need to is actually telling us now that we should shrink it, all right, and make it the size of this passport label. Okay, pretty good. Then what do? Now start by saying creating another image icon object so that we can scale our image. So I'll call this scaled icon. Yes. Post new image icon. Okay, inside of it, what I'm going to do now is to say I'll scale this icon here inside of the constructor. So I will say icon dot get image dot get scaled instance. Now the scaled instance accepts 3 integer arguments. Okay, now the first one is the width of your image. The second one is the height of your image. Okay, now first of all, let's get the width. Say passport label get width. Okay, now here is passport label get height. Okay, now the last one here. Okay, the last one here is you do image. Sorry there. Image dot scale smooth. Okay, this is what it says here. Choose an image scaling algorithm that gives higher priority to image smoothness than scaling speed. So I'm concentrating on the smoothness of the image here than speed. So I just use scale smooth here. Just do it like this. Passport get width. That's the width of the passport. The width of the passport here. Why I'm doing passport get width is that I want it to actually fit my label here. All right. I want the image to actually fit the passport. Okay. Now that was why I said passport lab.get width. So it gets the width of my passport label. Then passport lab.get height. So it gets the height of my passport label. Then I now get scale smooth, image of scale smooth to make it smooth. Okay, now it's just to make it smooth so that it wouldn't be distorted. Okay, now we have set the icon here, but there's a wrong one. We have to set. We need to set the scaled icon. Okay, because here the scaled icon has already the icon object scaled inside of it. So whenever we set the scaled icon here, it automatically shows the scaled image on the label. Okay, now remember, if we set it also, we need to set the name of the name of the file here. So I'll say file name equal to file dot get name. Okay, I'll say I have a passport name label here, so that's the one I want to use. That's set text, set the file name. Okay. Now let's run once again and see how it is. Okay, finally it's out. Now let's browse and select the image again. This is the one I selected, picture, the last one, yes. You can see my almighty passport here. Alright, is now shrink to the size of my label. Very, very cool and pretty. Okay, now I think in this tutorial we have successfully created the browse button, the passport name label, and the label now. Okay, let's say we have gotten the passport of the person we need to create passport of the person we need to register. Okay, so in the next tutorial we'll program the submit button in a way that it will get the first name when the person has already filled it, other names, date of birth, and submit it inside of our database. So thank you very much for watching. See you in my next tutorial.